Hey, today I am here to talk about my top 5 authors that I discovered this year. I looked on Goodreads at all the books I've read this year so far. I was very disappointed in myself to realize that like 90% of the authors I read this year were not new authors to me. And that just bugged me because I want to be reading new books, but like new authors. I want to like try out new things and stuff. I have here 5 books, 5 authors, and yeah, let's begin. The first author is Tamara Ireland Stone, and I read every last word. Really enjoyed this book. By the way, I gave all these books 4.5 stars or 5 stars. But I love this author. I loved this story. I loved that it inspired me to want to write more. I love that it was like, it doesn't even have to be good. It inspired you just by reading this to really like express yourself in one way or another and be really creative. The story has some like darker moments, and there's parts where like the main character has purely obsessional OCD, for example, and she worries about everything. And I love the character development. There was romance, which I enjoyed. This book surprised me, which I love it when a book can surprise me. And it was really good. It was one of the best contemporaries I read this year. I think there's 2 other contemporaries here that were also amazing I read this year. But yeah, I would like to read other things by her. Next, I read An Ember in the Ashes. So this is my first book by Sabaa Tahir, and this was incredible. It was really brutal at times, and there's, you know, a lot of violence and stuff. But this author, it was done so beautifully, and it was a dual perspective, so I think she did that really well. There were some times when I did prefer one, like, point of view over the other, and I felt like I could relate to them a bit more, but by like halfway through I loved them both. I liked the romance, and I liked, you know, it was just, it was so good. It was so gripping, and my heart was pounding while I was reading it. I'm really happy to hear that she is gonna write another, comes out next year I believe, because I definitely needed more by this. But this was one of the best like debut novels I've read in a really long time from an author, and I loved her writing style. I definitely think she did a really good job of, you know, kind of combining that like Roman history, but sort of just adding her own like fantasy elements to it, and I thought it was amazing. Next, I read an author that everyone else has read, but I haven't, and actually a while ago I made a video that was talking about like popular authors I haven't read yet, and this was one of them. I finally read it. Sarah Dessen. So I finally read Just Listen. I really enjoyed it. Like, I felt like this was kind of real. Like, yeah, it was really good. I definitely could relate to some of this stuff, and like with the friend thing, and she's in high school. I did like the romance as well, but parts of it were really hard to read about, like with her sister being anorexic and just the family kind of stuff going on there, but it felt so real, and some authors, they can't do that, and Sarah Dessen apparently can, so I'm definitely excited to read more books by her. I like the romance and everything. All of the character development was awesome, and it just really makes me want to read more by her. Then I have Outlander, and I don't have a physical copy yet. But this was amazing because this author just kind of creates like, Diana just did like some historical fiction, but then there's like some time traveling, and then the biggest part, well, maybe not the biggest part, but like there's a lot of romance, which is awesome, but then there's like violence and all this action, and then there's like time traveling, and it was great. I loved the time periods this took place in. I love that it was in Scotland. I love the characters. Like I said, the romance. Parts of it did like make me sick to my stomach, and it was hard to read at parts. Not like from the author, just like, I mean, what was going on was hard to read, but it was incredible, and I definitely want to read the rest of these books someday. I just like haven't gotten to them yet. They're big books, but it was good. She's an awesome author. And then last, I'm gonna say this is definitely one of my favorites. I'm gonna probably do like a top 10 books of the year, and this will be on it, and that is Judy Nelson, I'll Give You the Sun. So not only was this story incredible, and that I was obsessed with it, and the characters, the romance, multiple romances, the family dynamics, like just the individual characters and the development of just the character growth, but just her writing style was amazing. Like just the way she would say things, and just like Noah, he would just say the weirdest, coolest things. Like his name calling was amazing. If you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it was just so creative and awesome. It ripped my heart out. I sobbed. I was like, I had so much invested, I feel like, in these characters. And that's when you know, like, it's an incredible author, because not everyone can do that in books. Like, for example, I love you, I say to him, only it comes out, hey. So damn much, he says back, only it comes out, dude, he still won't meet my eyes. Like, stuff like that, that's all throughout the book. And it just, so good though. It's so good. You guys should let me know your top authors that you discovered this year. Maybe if you don't want to do 5, you could just choose like your number 1. But let me know if you've read any of these books and if you love them. Also Outlander. But I would love to start having my videos up every Wednesday, so just kind of that type of stuff. And that's pretty much it for now. So I want to go now in the comments and talk to you guys, and I will see you next Wednesday. Maybe sooner. If I can finish The Book Thief and get a discussion up, I'll see you sooner. But otherwise, next Wednesday. Bye, guys!